crafts and activism, we started with the questions that how do even craft and activism come together? And we came across a phenomenon called craftivism. So craftivism is a movement that some people have named it craftivism, and some people like Betsy Greer and Sarah. I'm forgetting the last name. So what usually happens in a a protest is that they use domestic arts such as embroidery, stitching, cross stitch, knitting, and everything to do with the yarns and threads and things like that, which can be done domestically, and they use it to craft messages of against system. Like I saw a protest in which uh, the the messages of gender equality were being translated on the how do you say cross stitch and a lot of other means. And if we look a little bit more into Praveen, can you elaborate on this one? Because I'm not, I'm a little bit gray, in which we are saying that crafts in war efforts, regime changes, and yeah, Khadi movement and women movements, we understand. But in war efforts, like what do you mean by war efforts?
So in that sense, like if you go in the mid-century eras, right, and when even I think everybody heard about like when Tipu Sultan had the, yeah, I think I'm saying right, that he had the what do you say? He we used to have the technology of fire, right? So
Yep.
firearms. So firearms was actually the job of craftsmen, even when it was discovered by the Chinese, and then later on taken by the Europeans for their like sort of expansion, world expansion. So that's why like crafts played their parts during war efforts.
Right. So in that sense, I can also see like during the World War II also, like a lot of women and like, are you saying that craftivism is also like when we prepare for a war and when crafts help in the preparation of a war in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we are also looking at crafts for personal affirmation and healing. So this I've like understood like firsthand also, like seeing some people in my own life and some friends and family, that how a crafts or a act of making generally helps mental well-being and inner sense of healing. Because there is because what we understood is that when you're actually making, there is a sense of building towards something, so it is actually therapeutic, and that is sort of a personal activism that a person can carry with himself. And crafts as a tools of operation was one question that we asked, that since we are looking at crafts as a voice of the masses and everything, then can we also look at craft being used by the state, or craft being used by an authority as an agent of oppression? So this was very interesting for us. Amitanshu says tsunami dolls. Amitanshu, you want to elaborate a little bit? You can open your mic.
Yeah. So actually, yeah. So this Uma Prajapati started this thing called Tsunami Dolls when tsunami hit the coast of Pondicherry and all. So there were a lot of distress amongst artisans. So to generate some and make them busy, with some work. So they came up with this form, Tsunami Dolls, which they used to make out of waste cloths. And then उन लोग ने इतना सारा बनाया उसे and they started selling it by just for a rupee or two. And उसको उससे it was a movement. It was kind of a craft movement which started out of nothing, out of basically just to keep them busy and not to make them think about what they've lost in the tsunami. So all the artisans were told to make this, and it gave them sense of pride. And along with that, they used to sing song while making these tsunami dolls. So there was a very interesting story around it. So because of which it is the best example of craft being used in a therapy
Manner.
therapeutic way. So that was a very, yeah. So similarly, they have also launched last month the Corona dolls, where they make where all the artisans are making this dolls out of their own crafts, and they're selling it. And so it is part of Craft Dignity project where they're making Corona dolls in a very therapeutic way, so that they generate employment for the people and also keep them busy. So that was what I meant. So I was just adding to your point, therapeutic.
So this is a part of ये जो creative dignity, the effort that is going on, ऐसा?
Yeah, yeah. So they're making this Corona dolls here. So that is also for the make एक therapeutic way से उसे artisans को busy रखने के लिए. So a very similar concept to Corona doll था Tsunami dolls जो बनी थी. So that was, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Like, so I want to say that with activism, sorry, I joined late and I do not know the context of it. So I'm just reading this slide out, and the prior slides which has this manifesto with craftism. I kind of looked like when you say activism, so I'm just suggesting as instance, can we look it from an activist lens that mixed allyship, centering the expression of justice is also a form of uh, activism lens that can be included in craftivism. So when we talk about Mahatma Gandhi, or say Gandhi doing Khadi movement, so from a very critical lens of caste, and if you see Gandhi and the leadership, it from a political leadership angle, what Gandhi did with the Khadi movement is kind of calling out people for boycotting and self-reliant mechanism that can, build the economy and say sustain the economy. So he's kind of have this political stand with boycotting the British clothes and clothing system.
Yeah.
So he kind of somehow allyship with the local Indian markets. So I am just saying that in the current context of activism, can that be looked as an allyship centering the expression of justice for the people who can't participate in a larger political movement? So say Gandhi did it on a platform because he was able to do it, and we can't just say Gandhi as a be the ultimate symbolic figure of Khadism, because Khadi, or say Khadi movement, or say this craftism is taken from very indigenous population and tribal population that is living in India from a very prior period. Gandhi
Yeah.
just came in as an a person who can just take that and put it across the screen, or say media, or say at that time of media through his own means. So I am just saying that in these circumstances, can the allyship should also consider this centering the expression of justice for the community who were already there, who are doing that thing in their own microcosms of ecosystems, but they are not, at that level of uh, that they do not have that level of reach that the Gandhi did at that time. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Please
just
complete.
I have this stand on this only ki how Gandhi is always in the front, and the craft and the skill and the phenomena of that thing has sometimes been sidelined, and Gandhi put into the picture as a symbolic figure. And everyone, if you ask from say a new learner of craftism, or say any other person who is coming into this field, they will see him as an ideal person. But if you look at his own career, he's shifted something and adopted some indigenous practices, but centering the Gandhi to all the frame would be a injustice to the whole picture of it. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Centering.
yeah, Akash, like we totally understand that point, and that's why, like, even when we were discussing this thing, Gandhi was just a starting point for us, because we in the discussion there was another thing where we said that like Khadi doesn't, as a symbol of craftivism, is no more. I feel like I personally said this thing, like people can have different interpretation of this, but yeah, like it's just for me khadi has become a commodity, so for me it's like that the importance of khadi as a symbolic gesture from Gandhi is also meaningless right now for me, because yeah, for me the settings have changed a lot. The politics have changed a lot. We can have much newer symbols, much better allyship with the community which we are fighting for, or which we want the justice for. Okay, and I mean, I don't want to answer anything. It's just that we do this thing in a conversational basis so that we could continue in different directions also. Okay, so what we'll be doing, guys, is that the first activity is about the activism we have connected with in our personal life and even have witnessed in public lives. So as you can see on the top, I have placed some sticky notes here, right? So what I would like you guys to do in like next 5 to 10 minutes is that what we'll do is if we can identify any sort of issue or a subject which we feel passionate about, or which we feel concerned about, or which we feel that has to be voiced in the space. So the left side, on the pink side, which you could see, is for the personal issues. So things like mental health, or even uh, parental abuse, you could say, or even examination pressures. So if you feel a topic which you can connect with on that level, then you could put it on the personal level on the left side. And you could see on the center there is a intensity bar. So on the top it's low intensity, on the high intensity. So if you feel very highly intense about it, like there is a sort of a high emotional connection to it, you could put it near the bottom. Or if it's like you feel connected to it but not to that much extent, you could put it at the top. And similarly, on the right side, you have a social space where there's a space for topics which you feel connected through in social lives. So okay, so it's like, okay, if I want to put something like that, okay, I feel connected to climate change. So you just pick up a sticky note from the top, and you can just place it here. So what we'll do is in next 5 to 10 minutes, I think we could just put our personal stories or personal things which we connect to here. So if you just have to drag any of the post-its, and you can place it as per the intensity, that how do you feel connected to it. Yeah, okay. Ambika is asking whether hacktivism is a craftivism. So okay, my take on that is that even if you have to hack something, you need to know that craft beforehand. So hacking something is like a tinkering with the original shape or original form of it. So if you are hacking the code, then you have to know coding in this sense. Like you have to know the craft of coding. And if you are hacking, let's say, because there are examples of in India which we call jugaad, is like hacking actual objects and actual machines, right? Where we have a scooter engine placed on a rickshaw, right? And so I'm considering that also as a part of craftivism, because that's a craft in my definition.
I don't think like I have a proper craft. So the issue that I saw increasingly, and a lot of news articles started to come up recently, how states are prioritizing certain laws for COVID-19, and then they are not necessarily like thinking of women issues, and they don't think investment for that is important. For instance, in Karnataka, they cut the funding for the free supply of sanitary napkins to young girls in schools, and instead they said we need this money for future COVID-19 expenses. So, and that the leader was male, of course. So I was just like thinking about like how we have such few leaders who are women, and also like the best COVID-19 response all over the world has been done by women. See Jacinda Ardern, for instance. So yeah, so like my craft would be letters, like handwritten letters, and like the expression, and of course like they have to be sent by post. And the expression is basically you reach out to girls from rural and urban communities both. These projects are usually just for I don't know, like you should include people from with girls from both parts of India, and they should write letters and to the future women leaders, and what all how they want them to make the world a better place for themselves. and then these letters are sort of circulated to women, like older women who are just about to graduate from college. I mean, there could be several variations of this, but this is where I thought it would be a good idea to start. But also, I have this contention that everybody has this linear idea about future, that in the future everything will be high tech. It's not necessarily like that. For instance, if you take paper, or if you take like air traffic controllers, like people were really mad. Okay, look, we have like all these advanced computers, and still they're using their sticky notes for the flight scripts. But there was a lot of human factors to that as well, that just the technology cannot provide the affordances for. So like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I just want to bring that point up, that like, I
Yeah,
have this
no,
contention.
no, thank you, Shreya. No, even that, I am very thankful when you pointed that out, because I remember that when we were doing craft apprenticeship, and during that period, there was this same issue which we were facing, where we were thinking that why in future everything should be advanced, and that's why we came up with futures where things are not growing as a tech based society, but instead we are ascending, or we are stagnated at the current technological level, not in the sense that we are not doing anything. But yeah, like, so thank you for this point actually.